Okay, hey everyone. This is Evening with GOLOS on Friday evening. It's 8 o'clock p.m. in Moscow, 5 p.m. UTC time. Means it's English hangout. And last time we met 2 weeks ago, we spoke about boats and we spoke about the danger of high demand and high price, which could technically lead to bubble and a low price at the end of it. So there haven't been any actual conclusions made on that, but also since then there's been a lot of talk about new economy and Steam and changes, which I would like to mention today as well and ask you guys what you think about it. I'll just quickly recap on those 2 weeks. I did a small sort of write out this time. I'm prepared. So basically what we went through is one of the times we went to a lot of legal questions, legal issues. We spoke about the basic economics of GOLOS and Steam for new users, spoke about the witnesses and how each of them contributes to the platform right now. We went through authors of the week a few times, and also there's a new trend that was started by Blogging School. It's called the weekly tag, which basically if you write a post with a tag, weekly tag, and each week they have a new topic, and this post will be is sort of promised to be more noticed by the more active users and the future whales and dolphins as such. Then we had a special issue about censorship, in which we came to a conclusion that we don't want any censorship. We spoke about the release of blockchain.golos.io, which is a base for other clients on the top of the Golos blockchain. It's not ready yet, so I don't think there's a point in showing it right now. But the only thing that's ready is the website itself. And then we spoke about new features, which basically a Telegram notifier, which was updated by Anatoly for us. We spoke about the avatars. Now I know that Steam has already launched them as well, which is really nice to see that collaboration between GOLOS and Steam, because we launched them and then they took the code, updated the code, sent the updated code to us. So, and now both platforms use it. So I really like that idea of collaboration, which really worked really well. And yes, my new hostess is here. Can you hear me? Can she hear me? Is that the question? I know she's abroad and I don't know if she's next to a PC. Anna, can you hear me? No, she can't hear me. Okay, maybe she'll join later with a mic.
Oh, hi, I'm here.
You still asleep or you awake today?
No. I'm just a little bit tired because I'm in Czech now.
Oh, you're in Czech Republic.
Yeah, that's right.
I know they don't have any joints in Czech Republic like they did in Amsterdam, so it's not as fun as Amsterdam probably.
Um, no, it's fun too because here is so good atmosphere and architecture. I'm just walking and that's all.
Oh, right, you're just walking around, but are you staying at a friend's house or something, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Nice. So you're back in Russia next week, right? And then we can start to go full time with exploiting you as a co-hostess.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, you sound tired. It's okay though. If you want to jump in, then jump in, Anna. But um, it's okay if you don't. I understand that you're tired. Okay, we are as well. Sorry, did you want to jump in there on something? Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say hello for Roland. Roland, hi. Glad to see you, and I want to thank you so much because it was really amazing event I ever been. Thank you very much, and I believe that in Moscow we make something like this SteamFest.
Yeah, it was great to have you guys. Really cool. Unfortunately, I couldn't join your talk because I was still busy setting up. But when I came at the end, then it was quite busy, so that was cool to see. Great that you came all the way. Are you now traveling back to Russia through Czech? Or was it always the meaning to visit some friends?
Sorry, you ask me?
Are you still on the road from SteamFest to Russia?
So now I'm in Prague.
Yeah, nice.
And after it, I'm travel now and walking around the city and museums. And after it, I will back home.
Yeah.
I will help her out a little bit. Her idea was to travel. Yeah, she's just.
Oh, idea! What idea?
I recommend
You
the. Hoe heet die ook weer? Knoflooksoep in het Engels? I recommend the garlic bouillon in Prague. It's always good. Garlic soup.
Oh, garlic soup. No, I never tasted.
It's in Prague.
But only try it if you're not gonna kiss anyone afterwards. Because if you're gonna kiss somebody, then and I think it's a bad idea. Okay, they both.
Yes, it's bad idea. It smells bad.
Okay, Anna. Okay, so today as well, instructor 2121. I don't know if he's gonna be able to make it. I hope he will. He promised to speak about Steam Trail and about his idea for GOLOS Trail as well. I don't know if he will make it or not, but so I'll be watching. Let me just go on the GOLOS chat, and I think I will share my screen so I have some pictures going on here. There we go. You have some kind of picture from me. I really need to buy a nice camera, a new camera. Okay, so while we're waiting for instructor, still have no answer from him. Okay, what I wanted to ask you guys yesterday, we spoke about the economical that were supposed to take place on Steam. And they didn't take place. So since yesterday, I've spoken to a few people and I've heard a few different answers as to why that hasn't happened. So one of the answers I've heard is that because apparently there is like a secret, how to say that? There's like a talk between some of the witnesses and they don't want to accept it. And that's part of the answer that I heard. But then again, today in the morning, I've spoke to some of the top witnesses on Steam because I speak to quite a few guys and, this is a guy that I really do trust. I'm not going to mention who it was, but this is one of the top witnesses from the very first days. I'm talking about like top 5, I think, or top 10. And he said that this is bullshit and that the only reason that they didn't accept it was because the code hasn't been released yet, and that's it. And that the code will be released on Tuesday by Net and Dan, and then everybody will accept it. So I don't know. I mean, Roland, you ran a witness, right? P-Funk, you ran a witness as well. Is that correct, guys? On Steam.
Yep. Had to unmute my mic. So what was up with that was somebody, I think it was KRNEL Colonel, made a post that was basically he didn't know what he was talking about. He thought it was the witnesses, like stalling on that, and it really wasn't that. It was that Dan kind of overpromised on the date, and whatever it was, it needed more testing or it was buggy, et cetera, et cetera. I looked at the GitHub and RHAG, the witness and person RHAG who also does reviews of the code and does a lot of stuff there. He had mentioned, he found some places where Dan missed to update some of the code to change, to make the changes that he was making. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, some witnesses, especially, I think it was either Riverhead or Roadscape on the witness panel during the live stream of SteamFest, or, on stage at SteamFest. They mentioned that they didn't want to, you're you're showing your screen right now. You're talking to Complex Ring, and
It's okay. It's not the guy I was talking about.
Oh,
I'm talking
okay.
about somebody else. I don't mind you guys seeing the chats that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Nothing secret in that. If it was secret, I wouldn't show it.
Okay. Anyway, so you know, I think it was Riverhead. Anyway, you know, somebody on stage mentioned that it's probably not a good idea to be throwing all these updates in at once, you know, in a hard fork. And you know, I just asked in the witness channel and Steam chat if you know, if they even tested the new proof of work algorithm that they're putting in with this update. And you know, I don't know if I would hope so, but maybe that's what this, you know, what this coming time is going to be used for. But it's still, you know, I have to agree with the argument that things should maybe be taken a little slower. But you know, we'll see how it comes together this, you know, this week and a half or so.
What I heard is from some people, and maybe Roland, you can clarify that. I heard it on the SteemFest. It was said by there was a witness panel, and apparently the guy said that it's better if those changes were made one by one, so it would be able to actually, it would be possible, sorry, to follow how they change, or the platform, or how they change the price, or how the people, how it changes, you know, sort of this kind of effects. And I don't know if it's true or not. So, but as far as I understand, on Tuesday, are you there, Roland?
Yeah, I'm here. You can. I hadn't seen the whole witness panel because I was running around from the one room to the other. But just the last night, I published all individual sessions from the main hall, so everybody can see it. And then I haven't had time to look back at look back at it. I only saw the beginning because I was getting the moderator out of his taxi to be in time to moderate, and then I saw the end of the panel. So I haven't seen it. All I can say is that this is about the parameter hard fork, right, P-Funk?
Yeah, it's about it's about
hard
the
fork 16.
For me, it was just personally. I had some replies in another chat where I said, to me personally, it is all coming a bit fast, but it can be me because I have been busy especially the past 3 weeks since the last hard fork with the SteemFest, and I had not had any time to read into implications, and I especially was curious if certain implications could be visualized. So going from the same set of defaults or standards, implementing various algorithms or formulas for payouts or whatever parameters. It will be super interesting to see if you start changing parameters, what would happen in the end result to the economy, given that some of it stays the same. For example, in a couple of graphs. But yeah, that's just me. I like graphs, and then you can just easily see what happened if we put it on 5%, or what happened if we put this on 10%. But yeah, to me it was also a bit fast. But I think it should have been implemented already last week. No.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm aware of, but apparently it wasn't because of problems in the code. And
I think it was a bit too fast as well. Yeah, in my opinion.
Well, as far as I understand it, the main problem with it is this change, is the power down change. As far as what I heard, that this is what a lot of people are afraid of. And
yeah, I asked in another chat. I said, "So can we also do the power down, make it a parameter?" Because it was all about make everything variable, and that miners can, or not miners, witnesses can have a bigger set of variables they can they can fill in. And then I asked, so for me as well, power down was really also a thingy. Why would you put it lower it to this to this amount of weeks? And then later on I had another chat, and then I said, so the power down could also be great to be eligible for a variable and not per se on 13 weeks, and then we can just slowly slowly decrease the amount of time or not keep it the same, but then it's not forced upon you, but then people can decide upon it if it must be changed. But yeah, and then there were also people saying, which I totally agree upon, I must say, that it might have been good to take out the biggest account, the holder of Steam Power, which is the Steemit account. And then because
what do you mean take it out? What do you mean take it out?
A hard code in the code that one could not use this new feature. Because then basically in 13 weeks you can withdraw everything from the platform and price.
But as far as I understand, it's promised by not to ever power it down.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, no, I mean as in only for technical issues.
Yeah. So this was just something. Yeah, there can be a case, and then they say all of a sudden, "Whoa, we need some Steam." Bum.
Yeah, I see what you mean, though, in the sense that today it's this and then tomorrow it's that, and you can never be 100% sure. I spoke to as well to yesterday to Underkey and to Kevin Wong about it, and they kind of agree with the changes, but as well, the thing is the power down. Everybody's talking about that, but it's funny, and yesterday we spoke about it, and I said, on one hand, everybody who I speak to says, oh, I will not power down when it's down to 13 weeks, but I don't want to change to the new hard fork because of the power down in 13 weeks change. So I was like, yeah, but if you're not going to power down and everybody else says they're not going to power down, then why are you afraid to change to that hard fork? Because of the power down, and it's like a vicious circle, and that nobody trusts each other. And this is kind of problem because I think it's a trust issue. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's an issue, really. I think that the new fork sort of really will be good for authors because it gives the 75% deflation goes to authors and creators, and which is nice. But I don't know how it would cause the guys who invested in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean the 75% of inflation going to authors is good, but the money has to come from somewhere, and the idea and the hope is that a shorter power down time will increase interest in potential speculators, which I think Ned in an interview he did with can't remember his name, but is on the SteemFest page, I think, in the SteemFest YouTube page. He basically said that speculators provide a lot of the value for the cryptocurrency market, and to turn them away by making powering up a 2-year affair or a 2-year power down thing is something he thinks is causing the value of Steem to not have those speculators in the market participating. So that he thinks that causes the market to go down. And so that's part of it, is to make the power down time less time, so there's more ability to speculate, at least in the in shorter term. But the author reward has to come from somebody.
I think it's not smart to just do it for having speculators enter. They're speculating, right? It's not in their best interest to have the platform itself flourish. It's their best interest to make as much money. Yeah, and of course you can say, yeah, if the platform flourishes, then more money is to be made. But I would say to have, for example, something like a button, just like the Flutter model, that you can upvote anything on any website. Having something like this, it's just a new feature where real money could go into the platform, because with that money you can start upvoting, or like just how Flutter works. For example, this kind of stuff. So yeah, adding more features for rewarding content where people really want to reward and use and insert real money instead of enabling speculators to speculate.
Yeah, I think the idea about speculators is a bit strange. I mean, especially, I don't know where the guy was from, as in if he was European or if he was American. But if we look at the the economic history and the history of the stock markets, I mean, you should talking about the U.S. history and the Great Depression and a lot of theories that it's been caused by speculators on the market. That the 1932, right? 1932, if I'm not mistaken. The big depression was caused by speculating on the markets, and it's not the only example in history when it happened. I mean, there's quite a few examples in economical history where speculators have caused a lot of harm to an economy of not just a single country, but at first to a country, and then it started to roll over. I mean, we are not a country, but and we're not going to affect the U.S. economy tomorrow if suddenly our price crashes to zero. But we are a society. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, even Vigo agrees. Even Vigo gets that. So no,
Yeah,
but
I kind of see where he's coming from, because more speculation can provide more market liquidity, which can in theory absorb. The more liquidity you have, the more resilience you have against large sells. But I totally agree. Like speculation isn't always a positive thing. But when it comes down to it, the entire economic base of the reward to post authors is people buying Steam on the at present the Bitcoin markets. And at present, a lot of the Bitcoin altcoin markets are speculation. There's all these coins, at least pretend, at the very least, they pretend to offer some utility, but what they end up being is speculation instruments.
You see,
yeah.
No, go on. I thought you were finished. Sorry, go on.
Well, I was gonna say, the alternative to having a speculative market is to have a direct, fiat gateway where everyday people can power their accounts up using, a credit card or something. But that's not been implemented yet, and it's a difficult thing to do, because credit cards and electronic financial services are vulnerable to fraud, and when you have irreversible transactions in a blockchain, it becomes somewhat incompatible.
Mm-hmm. You see, I kind of agree. I'll explain why. Kind of. Let me just switch that picture to a different one. The reason, I mean, yes, to get a lot of liquidity, you can use speculators, but there is an absolutely wrong way to go. It is the easiest way to go, but it is the wrong road to turn down to. I mean, if somebody wants to get liquidity, he can go to the market and, like you say, find speculators that will buy and sell in the hope that the price will, go higher when they buy, and vice versa. But or you can actually release utility, like you said, and then your price will rise as well. And by releasing new features and new utility, you will get more liquidity. And this is the difference between a strong economy and a weak economy, and my understanding. Well, it's not the main difference, but it's one of the differences. So the way I see it is that instead of going to the speculators market, what we should do is we should think of like what Roland just mentioned there, that feature where you can, what did he call it? How did he name the feature? Where you can like content on other websites and still monetize it. And I think it's I think somebody the other day called it a reprint or something like that, and it's still being worked on, I think, which basically will allow users to monetize content on other websites and include it. I'm not sure how it works technically. Maybe Dennis, you can explain it because I know you're more technical than me. But
I think it's just like blockchain project in GOLOS. It's something like it. Just ability to create blocks.
But how would you, for example, go on Facebook and like content?
It's not anything. You can import content from Facebook and
okay.
so
Okay. So basically a reprint, like importing into the
Yeah.
GUI, and then so for example, but this is again like a feature which would add liquidity, I think, in the sense that it would add more users, and more users means more liquidity. So this kind of like a bigger circle, and obviously it will be harder than going on the market and dropping a lot. I was going to say a different word, but I decided not to use it. A lot of cheap Steam and hope that somebody will buy them. But this is not, we are seeing that it's not stopping the price fall. This is the problem. Because I thought that at one point this stop is going to fall. This fall is going to stop. And it's really not. There's really no bottom to that. It looks like it's been dropped, and one of the talks, and when is the I'm all up for the new changes, and I think they are great, especially the inflation API changing. I think it's absolutely clever that they decided to do it, and the Steam dollar conversion down 3.5 days, the cut for the witnesses, the 3 months votes that will update themselves when you vote for a witness. I think it's a great change as well, and so on and so on and so on. But the first point, when you can power down in 13 weeks, and what you guys have been saying, that the price has fallen, just to mention that, how many people will want to press that button? For example, Laoni, who has invested 400 BTC, will he press that button? I don't think he will, because the guy who invested 400 BTC and is now worth 20 BTC must be ripping his hair out on his head. But there's other guys who have saying, I've had enough. I don't want to wait more. So as soon as it's down to 13 weeks, they will press it again. The price will go down again. The speculators will come in. They will buy the cheap Steam, but they will not hold it. They will not hold it for longer than a few weeks. They will just sell it as soon as the price goes up by 5 or 10%. And this is what I'm afraid is going to happen. But I hope that I'm wrong. And I hope that what I'm saying is never going to happen. So, yeah. This is the way I kind of see it. Yeah. So, I don't know.
So what on the GOLOS side, since we're doing the GOLOS hangout, like what do the Russians think about these changes? Are you guys kind of discussing which ones to maybe adopt and which ones to leave off?
Well, the Russians, how they said it in what movie was it? With Boris the Blade? Can you remember? What was it?
Snatch.
Yeah, Snatch. That's it. Yeah, that's it. So the Russians are coming. So anyway, it was the Germans, yeah, but I will say the Russians. But anyways, we're actually thinking of adopting the whole thing. But like I already said before, we have this bonus that we can see the effect it has on Steam. And this is why we're a bit angry that you
Are you talking? I can't hear anything.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last thing I heard was I'm angry.
No. It's not that I'm angry. It was a bit of a joke. I was saying that the Russian guys they're angry in brackets. Obviously, nobody's angry really that Steam isn't accepting the changes, because our idea was the quicker that Steam accepts it, the quicker the effect takes place, and the quicker we can decide on whether it's a good change or a bad change. Judging by people who are commenting, you know, how on different forums and such. I mean, saying that GOLOS is still pre-release. We can say that because the ICO hasn't finished yet and the first payout hasn't been done yet. So we can bravely say that it's a pre-release yet. It's an alpha stage. A lot of people are advising, like the Russian-speaking community are advising us to take on those economic changes prior to the first payout, because it will make things easier in the sense that nobody will be really upset. But judging that we have the ICO right now, we cannot make any changes because it would be silly to make a really difficult hard fork in the middle of an ICO. For various reasons. I mean, one reason that somebody might not be able to I mean, let's say there's a problem with that hard fork, and it crashes all the network in the middle of the ICO, and it won't be really, it won't be really nice. And in any case, we will not make any changes before the ICO ends. And I hope that by the 3rd of December, Steam has already accepted the changes, or some of them. And then we can start thinking, okay, so let's do it one by one maybe, or let's do them all together, or whatever. I mean, there's another witness in here, Dennis, so we can ask him what he thinks. I don't know what you think, Dennis.
I agree. We need to look statistics on Steam, so you decide.
Yeah, so basically that's what I'm saying, that we don't have any statistics now to judge on.
We're in better position, we can wait.
Yeah, we're in a win-win position. I agree with you. We're in a better position. We can wait and see how it goes, how well it goes with Steam. Okay, I don't know, Bifang, what do you think? I mean, you're a witness on both platforms, so you should really have an opinion as well.
I don't know, as far as GOLOS goes, well, you know, the inflation change is hitting the inflation of the vests hardest, which is something that I think is almost universally agreed upon. That is the softest target and the biggest issue when it comes to the inflation. And I don't know exactly how you've advertised it, but people who have bought your ICO so far and are currently doing it, some might have an expectation of having those justs have that high inflation. And to be honest, I don't know if many would. But that's something to consider. But as far as the market price goes, as Steam has proven, it's not a long-term, it's not sustainable to have that kind of inflation, even in the vesting fund. So there's good evidence to suggest that it's okay to change that, even if people have invested already, because it's probably in everybody's interests economically to not inflate that so much. As for the rest of it, I'm trying to think if any, the one thing that I thought that the Russian community might not agree with is the power downtime, because well, I don't know if I can even point to anything specific, but I think you guys probably, I'm just guessing that you guys probably see the value in having it being a long-term, a long-term thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the opinion of the GOLOS people is on that particular one, but I think the rest of it, seems like it would be favorable to the GOLOS crowd. What do you think about that?
I think that it's a valid point about the people who are investing now and then suddenly they have the rules changed after the investment. But then again, if we look at any economy and we look at a centralized economy and we see central banks interfering, and then, when people eventually, if we talk about philosophy here, and let's for a second dive a bit deeper into the philosophy. Decentralized economies were created by Satoshi. Let's call him Satoshi Nakamoto, whatever. One of the points was that there would be no interference from a central administrator, but it's not true. In any single decentralized economy, whether it's Bitcoin, I don't know if any single coin has done it, but most of the coins I've been involved in have undergone some changes, and usually those changes are for the greater good. So, I mean, even if people who have invested now, I don't think any of them will be upset that the inflation is changes. I really don't think so. As in for the power downtime, then it's only a bonus for them, really. A few people who invest, it means that they can get out quicker if they want eventually to get out. So, as in what you say, the second thing that you said about long-term and short-term investing. I don't know. I mean, I cannot speak for everybody, but I can try to generalize, I guess. And I guess the mentality of Russian speakers is that, we are not long savers, as in mentality-wise. So I don't think that it will affect people or stop people from coming to the platform. In fact, I think that when you try to explain to an English person 1,000% inflation, it's easier than to explain to a Russian person 1,000% inflation. I mean, I've spent 20 years living in the West, and I've been living here for about 6 years now, and my mentality is mixed, but I can understand both, and it's much easier to explain 10% inflation to a Russian person than 1,000% inflation to a Russian person. In fact, even I was saying yesterday to Underkey, on the 11th, which was on the 10th. Sorry, on the 11th was SteemFest, and on the 10th we had in Moscow the blockchain and Bitcoin conference, Moscow, which was the year considering blockchain. And then after that we had after party, which was organized by myself, and it was from GOLOS, and there was about 80 people, and all of them obviously were coming from this kind of field, from crypto world, and it was really difficult to explain the economy, especially when you come to the inflation part, especially when you start saying to a person, as soon as you mention 1,000% inflation in the first year, people think you're either stupid, either crazy, either you're joking, or either you're mistaken. They don't believe that you're serious.
Is 1,000% what GOLOS was kind of set at?
Same with Steam. And if you think about it, it's 1,000 in the first year.
Steam is about 100%.
No, it's 1,000 in the first year. You have to call it. If you calculate,
it depends on when you start from. I'm pretty sure the current rate is about 100%, roughly.
It's falling down. It's falling down. Of course, it has to fall down. The point is to fall down to 100. But if you look at from day one, at one point it was 1,000, and in fact, I think during the whole, if you look at the code, during the whole first 3 or 4 months, I think, no, even more than that. I know Dennis is good at the code, but
100% in year, I suppose, should be before it's
yearly, right? Yeah, yearly. Yeah, but I think that the first 1 month or 2 months it goes up to 5 and 1,000, even at one point. And okay, so even when you say 100%, okay, people think you're crazy. It doesn't matter, I mean, anything to a Russian-speaking person. The word inflation is already doesn't do any good, but then anything over the regular inflation of 10% sounds crazy. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that in general those changes will be good. Let's see. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that that the market will show it. But I really do hope that because I have seen lately on Steam a real fall down in writers, and it's basically probably due to the payout. And like you said very correctly, P-Funk, you said that the money has to be taken out from somewhere. And you know, I mean, it's good in the sense of that when you have a lower price for the currency, it means that people don't get too greedy. And when the price really rises really quickly and then falls back down, then people start to get that greediness. So I don't know, maybe those changes will somehow affect that. This is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that people will become, you know, sort of more down to earth with the payouts. Because I think that, you know, we're not gonna see payouts over $100 Steam dollars for a post. I'm not talking about, you know, those posts with Charlie Schramm, or I'm not talking about posts by Steam Sports. I'm not talking about posts by Curie, and I'm not talking about posts by you know, those special posts like Busy, which is making 700.
This, you know, what the trending page looks like today is kind of what I expected it to look like after July 4th. And the fact that, you know, the pump happened and all that craziness happened is, you know, that has changed the way people see Steam in a way, and some people are very disappointed by it. But, you know, if that never happened, I think people, you know, might be more basically, you know, okay with it. Like you're saying, you know, it's still better than posting somewhere else. And if you're lucky and you have a crap load of viewers and you know, you have good advertising, that you can make some money off of that. But otherwise you're putting it out for free. And, you know, it's still not terrible that you're getting paid some cryptocurrency for sharing what you want to share.
Definitely. No, I think it's great. I think I absolutely agree with you. I'm just saying, you know, that we had to come from up there to sort of a lower expectation, which is well. I think that the one main problem is, as much as I'm friends with the guys who have done Steam Sports, I'm good mates with them, and I don't want to say anything bad about them, but I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of a bit upset that, let's say, 10 posts are from the trending page. I would have done it differently. And the way I would have done it is, I'm not going to say how, because we have an idea for GOLOS with one guy of how to do it differently. And we will probably try and implement it into GOLOS, but it's an idea. We are probably going to hire a developer for that. But the idea behind it is that there's going to be only one post for betting, and it's going to decline payout altogether. But it's still going to earn people money by adding liquidity to Goldback GOLOS or the equivalent, which is Steam Dollar. This is the way we would have done it, and we have an idea on how to do it. And I think I'm not going to go into detail because this is only, you know, in discussion mode now, and I'm not sure if we will do it or not. But it will. The main point is not to take away from other authors by betting. This is the main point, and add liquidity to Steam Dollars or Goldback GOLOS.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked into Steam Sports very much, but it seems like part of the you know, the underlying goal there would be, because of paying in Steam power, the underlying goal would be to take liquid Steam out of the economy and give people Steam power and for participation. So I can kind of see, you know, that aspect of it. it basically lessens the burden on the market in theory, I suppose. But yeah, I also see what you're talking about, where it can, kind of take the daily post reward pool away from other posts. So
yeah, because it's betting really, and it's not blogging. So
well,
this is how.
it's Steam. I don't think Steam needs to be GOLOS too. I don't think they need to be necessarily pigeonholed into one or another uses. I think it's a very it's a valuable thing to keep it experimental and keep it as an open platform for whatever economic use that the people who have stake in it feel that is useful or worth experimenting with.
Oh, I agree 100% on that, and this is one of the main reasons that we in GOLOS we speak so much about different clients, because we believe that the community will be really, even if it's not a big community, even if the community consists of 100,000 users, right? Let's say in the future, not all of them will want to see the same content. And this is the point of having a few clients. For example, one client is for betting, another client is for blogging, another client is for this and for that and for that. And maybe it's not. Maybe some people say it's not the correct way to go, but this is the way we see it. And
I totally agree that is a good idea. That's something that I was hoping we'd see, earlier in Steam actually. So I'm kind of glad that you guys are paving the way, and I hope that happens.
we're really pressing on it.
I hope Steam. I hope it finds its way back to Steam. So I appreciate that.
Oh, it will. It will. I think it will. But no, we're really pressing on it. At least we have a few guys like myself, and I know that Konstantin is, and a few other guys. We are really hardcore on that. We really want it to happen because we think it's really the main thing that will help us to grow. We really believe in that, and yeah. So and plus, I'm seeing right now. I mean, I'm speaking to some of the main investors, and I mean, obviously, we don't have the investment that Steam had, but then again, everybody's forgetting that in terms of investing into GOLOS, you can invest after the ICO as well. You can come spend 400 bitcoins like Laoni did and buy Steam Power or whatever. If you have 400 bitcoins. If you don't, then tough luck. If you do, then send them to me. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like I said, I always hope for the best. I always hope that both of those platforms have really going to develop, and I really see the way they will develop. So yeah. What else I was going to ask you about, guys, really quickly before we wrap it up, because we're not many today, but I was going to ask you about the new tags, and I saw it on Steam. Oh, hello, Arkanage.
Hello, Sergey.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
We were just speaking about a lot of things, actually. We're speaking about the economy on Steam, and speaking about different clients as well, and different posts and trending page. And what I was going to ask, guys, is I noticed that on Steam, tags like news, funny, and TIL, I think, right, is what I learned today. And as far as I understand, the idea was took from Reddit, right? And the question was, I mean, like I said, I've not been in Steam since day one, and I don't know what the position of Steam was. But wouldn't it be much, for example, I don't know. I mean, do you think, guys, it's correct to follow in the steps of Reddit?
Yes and no. I've sort of thought from the start that Steam has been a little too serious, like lacking in humor and funniness, and some of the funny people, like Tuck Faman was a great satirist, and he got turned off on the platform maybe because he got involved in the silly little politics a little too much, but. He was one of the earlier users. He came around the same time as I did in April and May, and he was a great satirist. And he was really he's a funny guy, but he stopped posting. But other than him, it's hard. And well, there's like accounts like Lord Vader, but it's not part of the draw of Reddit and sites like it are some of this dumb funny stuff that you can enjoy. You go to Reddit because you just you have some time and you want to enjoy yourself a little bit sometimes, and I think Steam is lacking in that a little bit. And this post I just linked to that you're looking at by Sensei TK is him kind of explaining that maybe it's not, maybe the best idea is not to try to encourage it top down when what happens is the posts will follow the votes or the promises of monetary rewards rather than people just writing as they would. So yeah, it's a tough thing to do to say, okay, now we're all going to do today I learned posts, or now we're all going to do funny posts. That's not exactly a natural thing, but it can also be good to kind of just kickstart or jumpstart a category as well. And it's kind of carving out what do I want to say? It's establishing a precedent so that people know it's okay to post this or that, because some people they don't see the potential in the blank space. They only see what's there and they think, okay, well, that's what we post here. So for the people that don't see the potential in the blank space, this is the kind of thing that might actually work to carve out a precedent in so that people are like, oh yeah, we could do TIL, or we could do funny posts or news posts, just like Reddit or whatever. It's to diversify the content and ultimately make Steam, and GOLOS and etc. A wider, more diverse platform that would be more valuable.
And what would solve that? A few other clients. What would solve that? A second client for this kind of, for this kind of thing. This is why I'm. Huh?
Yep. Yeah. I totally agree. If the form is radically different from, the other forms of posts that are already existing, then yeah, I think a different context in the form of a different client would definitely work.
Because I agree with people, for example.
You just cut out again.
Different topics, and I can see that some people don't want to read the topics I write, and in the same way that maybe I don't want to read. I don't know. I'm not picky really, but I'm sure that I will find topics that I don't want to read. So that this is why I'm saying that a few clients will solve it, especially like you said, with a really different, for example, funny and TIL. Maybe this is a good idea of not for steemit.com, but reddit.steemit.com. I don't know, whatever you would call that other second client. So yeah, Arcanage, what do you think about the new tags? Do you like that? Do you like the idea?
Which new tags?
How on Steemit they introduced
small red tags.
The what? Sorry?
Small red tags.
No. I'm talking about how now you have a few tags, which is TIL, news, and funny. Which if you write in them, they will be noticed more. So we were just speaking with Bfunk on, you know, on the good sides and the bad sides of doing that. So what do you think about it? Do you think it's a good thing, or?
I don't have an opinion right now because I think I miss it. I was so busy posting goals with SteemFest and so on. So I had a lot of work and I have not been that much on Steam it last days.
How was SteamFest for you?
Extraordinary. I think all people are using superlatives to describe what they live there, and it was really crazy. I was really happy to meet. I see Anna is there. Hello, Anna. I think we meet together.
She's asleep. Don't wake her
No,
up.
no,
She's
no,
asleep.
I'm here. No, no, no. No, I'm here. Hi. I'm glad
I
to
met
hear
Creator.
you.
Sorry?
I'm glad to hear you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hey Anna.
Yeah, I met Creator, I
Hi,
met
hi.
Venom, and it was an incredible, awesome experience. And for sure, you have to do something similar later when GOLOS take off.
Well, we have already planned event in April, so.
And I will be very glad to have such an experience with you guys.
Yeah, I hope you guys come. I mean, I don't know. I've heard that it's a bit difficult to get visa into Russia, but I don't know if it's true or not. But I think we will help everybody to do it.
What was the most amazing to me was it was really we were really feeling what a community is. I talk with people; they all say because they are all in other cryptocurrencies, and people were saying, "I don't care of meeting a Bitcoin user or Ethereum user," but they all were happy to meet Steemit users. So that was really our community could develop, and as we had fun on SteamFest channel on steemit.chat, because we say, okay, it's turning from community to family. So that's incredible to me.
Yeah, I'll also absolutely agree with you. I mean, like I said before, we had a small event the day before SteamFest, and it was nice to see how many girls we have, how many girls to boys ratio. This is amazing. Check and mate to other cryptocurrencies over there. So, and it's amazing how people interact in this how the community interacts in this kind of is absolutely different. I agree with you. I mean, I've been to lots of different conferences, and it's really different.
Yeah, people wanting to meet each other. I already went to different conferences where you are there, everyone looking at the other but not wanting to talk. And here you arrive and someone come to you to start to speak. What are you writing about? What's your name, and so on. So people really wanted to interconnect.
It's nice. And I guess this is social media, right? I guess this is the point of.
Yeah, even if there was a lot of talk about economy, but the social part was really present too.
That's really good. That's really cool. Okay, guys. So I think that instructor is not gonna make it. I can definitely say it now. After 1 hour is gone. A shame. But guys, does anybody else want to add anything, or shall we wrap it up? I mean.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask you, how do you and Dennis think the ICO is going?
Good question. I think it's going okay. It's going worse than I expected.
Yeah.
And as far as we speak, I'm getting, you know, sort of secret info on who's going to invest more and when. You know, I have all these secret chats open here, and on my I'm getting this guy sending me, I'm going to invest more bitcoins, and I'm going to invest more bitcoins. You know, so I know that it's not the end. Right now it's 183 bitcoins, say 185. Let's round it up, and it's 180 people, which is nice. Which means, you know, if we take out 1 million, 1 BTC per person. Obviously, it's not 1 BTC per person, but you know, it's really nice. But I hope that we stop on 500 people. I really hope that we get 500 people, which I doubt, but I hope so.
For me, actually going better I expected. I was fighting will be 100 BTC or less. Almost 200 is good, and I hope it will be more.
Oh, it will definitely be more. I know that because, like I said, I have all these small secret chats with people saying how much they're gonna invest, and it will definitely come to 300. Definitely, I'm 100% sure about that, without a doubt. But I actually hope that more people will invest rather than more bigger whales will come, because right now the information I'm getting is that we will have a few big guys investing rather than you know, regular per people. What do you think, Pifang? Do you think it's okay or what?
Yeah, I think it's a bit lower than I expected, but I didn't know exactly what to expect. My question is, how are you guys putting it out there? Are you guys advertising it to some places? Are you like how is the word getting out? Because people people have to know about it to be able to invest in it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, let me answer two things there. First of all, you said about how's it going. I will add a small thing, and I will add that when Steam began, there was what, like 20 witnesses, the first people and miners, or 20 people, 25 people. Today we have our initial witnesses, and we have 180 investors, which means we have 25 times more people invested in the beginning of GOLOS than those who invested in the beginning of Steemit. Okay, which is a bit, of a funny statistics, but let's put it aside. But it makes me happy, which means we have it more spread out. As for the advertisements, you have to remember that we only advertising on the Russian market, which is a very narrow market. And even more so, we only advertising on the Russian crypto market. I tried to advertise it on the Russian non-crypto market. It didn't work. People are not ready to take those adverts on. I don't know why. Also, you see, part of our positioning is not to advertise it as a platform that pays content. I mean, we do mention that in our adverts, but we don't put it as, like what Steemit did. And we decided that we came to a conclusion that it was a mistake by saying that, oh, look, we have a platform that pays you to blog. And we
half the advertising on that end is probably my fault.
No, you see, I'm not looking for a guilty person there, but I think that it caused part of the greediness, which we spoke about a few times. So we sort of say, oh guys, we have a new blogging platform that's based on blockchain, and you can have freedom of speech, and it's the first Russian blockchain platform, blogging platform, and so on and so on and so on. And then we come and say, oh, and by the way, we also pay you for your content. So, we kind of do it this way. But it's okay. We learned the only reason we came to that conclusion is because of the mistake that Steemit made. Otherwise we would have gone the same way. You were going to say something there, no? You were going to jump in there?
Oh, I just said, yeah, that's good, to put the other features ahead of the monetary ones. I think that's a good idea, especially for Russians where, you guys deal with censorship and stuff. I think you mentioned LinkedIn was shut, or somebody mentioned LinkedIn was shut down by Putin in Russia.
Yeah, well, yeah, we did, yeah, we do. And another thing is if we talk about Russian crypto ICOs, then this is the biggest Russian crypto ICO that's been so far. There has not been a Russian crypto ICO that's collected almost 200 bitcoins ever.
Congratulations, it's good.
Yes.
One thing that I thought was promising is I saw Sharker invested, and I only know Sharker as a photographer. So if you have somebody who's producing creative work, investing 2 bitcoins into GOLOS, I think that's really good sign.
I will go further in that, and I will now open this site that we can see all the investments, and I probably know I will say that I know 95% of the people here who invested. Okay, maybe 90%. Okay, 95 is a bit loudly said. And I can say that Sharker is not the only. Okay, he's a photographer and designer, but I have a few more people here. For example, Everything. For example, Kibela, Richmond. Oh yeah, there were a few. Alexander Z. Which QQC. Who else? Okay, there are a few people here who have absolutely no crypto background and they invest, and this is really nice. I really like that. I really like seeing that. I really like that idea. Yeah. So, guys, did you want to ask anything else or? Okay, I guess no. Okay, guys. Yeah, Arcanage?
Yeah. I've seen a changing trend in the active user on the stats I publish daily, and it's very encouraging because I was a bit concerned seeing active people. The trend was going down till, let's say, before SteemFest, and then we see that is going up again. So it's good news to me.
Are you talking about GOLOS
Yeah,
or Steam?
Yeah, about
about
GOLOS,
GOLOS.
yes.
About GOLOS, yeah. You know, we have spoke about your statistics a few times. In fact, I know that the guys have based some of their statistics upon your statistics, and it was mentioned a few times. Okay, I misspelled Arcanage there. Never mind. But the mistake Arcanage. It's with one A, right?
Yeah, it would be nice to have your feedback if I have to change something.
Oh no, you know, I
Yes.
always, if you can see, I can't even prove that I wrote all that. Wait a minute,
That's
it's
the last
coming.
one with happy birthday.
There we go. Bam. Oh, you have a last one. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
No, but I read them, and I'm really
you have
happy.
1 full month on the last one.
Oh, okay, it's for the full months,
Yeah.
right? Oh, that's nice. I haven't seen that one yet. Ah, that's nice to see. So, what's that? So we can see that.
Yeah, that's the most interesting is at the end.
Let me just go to scroll to the end then.
That is one, no, just before the blockchain.
Before the BTC, right?
Yeah, this one.
Active users, right?
Okay, so we see all curation is going on and all authors are going on.
Okay,
So
since the 11th, right?
The authors.
Since the blockchain conference, basically.
Oh yes.
Okay, let's hope that it carries on up. Well, you know, I mean, the way we see those statistics, a lot of people have asked us, "Is this good or bad?" And then what we say is, it would be interesting to see Steemit statistics for this for 1 month old.
Okay.
And to compare it. I don't know if anybody has any statistics such old on Steemit.
I can do the same exactly because that has the same database. So.
Can you? It would be really interesting if you could, for example, obviously dailies, you know, too much, but I think it would be amazing if you could do statistics when Steemit was 1 month old. Those two, I think that would be really interesting.
I don't think the comparison is the same. Because you have already a lot of users coming from Steemit too.
Yeah. But still.
Yeah. It would be nice to see, to compare, just for fun.
P-Funk, were you going to say something there?
Oh yeah, I was saying there used to be a site called Steeml run by Java Steam. He's kind of just left the building though, and he never really developed it much. Not SteamUL, but SteamLE.com. I think it's probably still down, but he you know, his page had pretty good graphs, and it was actually interesting to see when the bubble hit after July 4th. You know, the graphs were going parabolic. Steam and then LE.com. And you know, I think it's still down, but at least you got the right spelling. So yeah, so it was interesting to see those graphs go parabolic at the time, and since then it's been shut down. You know, he's just kind of left. But you know, Archange, if you can do the same stuff for Steam, I think that would be available. And I'm not sure if you do that once in a while for Steam as well, but you know, I think that would be a valuable thing to post on Steam, and you know, possibly even develop into a website, or maybe develop it for one of the existing websites if you don't want to host it. You know, like maybe Justa would be interested. You know, just throwing those ideas out there, just because I'm not entirely sure if we actually have a graphical statistics for the Steam network anymore.
As far as I don't know if Arcanage, you want to jump in on it. I know that somebody's doing them.
Eliak is doing such statistics, but it's only on 1 week, so it's not the same as me. I just need time to develop a website to have dynamic statistic. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at tools to make it. But I can publish kind of statistic on 1 month. It would be interesting to see on 1 or 2 months on Steemit.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I would be interested in Steam statistics as well to see what's going on. I know that one guy, I don't remember his name, but I have it's the guy who's doing the link bot, the same guy. He has some kind of statistics for Steemit on daily basis. I really don't remember his name. Okay, guys. So if that's it, I think let's wrap it up. We had a nice 17-minute talk here. Okay, so tomorrow we will be back to Russian, and we will be speaking about marketing, and then we have the week ahead of us in Russian, and I'm hoping that next Friday we will be back to English again. We will probably making some changes together with Anna to some of the topics. I don't know if we will do it or not, but I'm hoping that we will be making some changes. There will be some days where she will be by herself. There will be some days we will be together, and some days will be where I will be by myself. And that's basically it. Okay, guys, thanks for coming. Thanks, Roland. Thanks, P-Funk. Thanks, Arcanage. Thanks, Dennis. And thank you, Anna. Okay, guys, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Okay, thank you, Sergey. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.